the characters in Spider Silk sort of suggested themselves. The rural, high desert country is full of characters. Buffalo Boggs is loosely modeled after somebody I know. The owner of the Valley Falls store, who charges everybody for 2 beers if they buy one, is really based on a character who ran a store similar to that in Barnes. At any rate, there's just a wealth of characters. And so I decided to set this novel in a high desert setting with lots of characters surrounding the main players. Protagonist is, I mean, it's almost a cliche, I'm afraid. The big city detective gets in trouble on the job, and somebody suggests that maybe there's a undersheriff job for him in this rural town of Lakeview. Gets himself straight, falls in love with the country, which I did when I first went down there. It'll grab you, and just grab you. Any rate, minds his P's and Q's, becomes the sheriff. And even though he's been badly burned by divorce, he falls in love, reluctantly, with Nancy Sixkiller, who runs the Emergency Services Center. The story itself, it's hard to explain, but once you have the basic plot and an outline of where you're going, and you have strong characters written, they sort of take over, and they sort of dictate. In this situation, what would this character do? And I don't care how you try to skew it as the author. You may think you want to go over here. I mean, you are the creator, after all. And the characters go, no, this is what we would do. So you have to change it back and write it that way. At any rate, so you got the high desert setting, you got a strong character, you got a beautiful Yakima Indian woman, you've got the characters of Buffalo Boggs, and you've got a setting where greed determines the behavior of a very weak man who tries to stage a murder, and the sheriff's job is to unravel that murder, which he does through forensics evidence, and with the help of a really good team of deputy sheriffs. After the book was published, I let my friends and my classmates know that I had written a book, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And pretty soon I'm being pestered almost daily for another book in the Blair series. And that became the book Stonefly. And in all honesty, I picked the title and then I wrote a story to fit the title. But it's logical. It's a logical continuation of the Spider Silk story. And I had it in my mind that somehow or another an undercover cop would become a bottles and cans man, the kind of guy that rides the highways on his bicycle and picks up bottles and cans and cashes them at the store. And I also decided that I needed an undercover cop, female undercover cop, to work as a bartender at the Christmas Valley Lodge. And she shows up on a Harley wearing a tank top. She's got a big cobra tattooed on one shoulder. And her new boss says, that won't do. This may be the sticks, but you'll wear long sleeve blouses and black slacks in my bar, And we salt that whole setting with a character who later becomes known to us as a retired DEA agent. And he's simply hiding out in the desert. He's got some people that don't like him very much. So, at any rate, so we wrote that. There's a murder in Bremerton, Washington. There's a murder in Lakeview. They're identical. The murder victim in Bremerton is identified. The murder victim in Lakeview, they find the body in a reservoir at Summer Lake, isn't identified. But the method of their deaths, whoever killed them, used the same methods. So it looks too good to be simply coincidental. So we bring the two stories together to solve the murder. And let's see, the help comes from a special forces guy who's tracking his sister's killer, who happened to be one of these two murdered people.